Hello again. So this is where we finished yesterday, where we had this idea of take just one part of a page to change up your process and try something new. That way the rest of the design is something that you know that you already like, you know how to do, and you isolate just one part of the page to try something that's completely outside of your comfort zone, and that will give you a better chance at seeing it all in your own style rather than feeling like everything is so far removed that it just doesn't fit in your albums. But what happens if you try a new technique or a new color, new motif, or anything else that it is that you try, and you like it so much that you want to include it in a project that you're already working on, say an album that's half finished or more than half finished? How can you add something like that to an existing album and still maintain the continuity, the feel of the album that you wanted to achieve? Well, I'm going to take this brush lettering idea from yesterday's challenge, and I'm going to work it into my Happy Medium album, the Olympic album, and I'm going to do that with a double page spread and a divided page protector, because it just so happens that there's a spot in this album where I've done the front of a double-sided, the front of a let me try one more time, the front of a divided page protector, but I hadn't put anything in the back, and then I had the facing 12 by 12 page empty as well. And it worked out that in the chronology of the album was the perfect place to put my photos of the Olympic opening ceremony. I have plenty of photos of that event, so having all the pockets for pictures works out well. Here's where I'm going from there. That means I have this card and this card to start with my my new technique that I want to add in. So I'm going to do some brush lettering, and I'm also going to go ahead and use one more bit of this white cardstock that will go on the facing page so that I'll have something to make it match. I'm going to use the Peacock Feathers turquoise ink since there's so much turquoise in this album, and then that will help if I just use that same color, I think, every time I add the brush lettering to this album. I think if it's always in turquoise, that will help add the continuity with just a little bit, without it being on every page, I mean. And since I have that LDN 2012 on every page in the album, this seems like a good way to get that into the design of this particular page. This isn't the best 2 of all time, but that happens. I think given the context that it's not like it's going to be a secret that that's what it is. You know by this point in the album, you flip through all those pages, you know that it's 2012, and I'm going to add the LDN with a different kind of lettering, so I think it'll work out. And then this one I'm going to try just ceremony, and then I'll do the rest of my wording in another kind of lettering. I'm not sure this will work. M's and N's are so big in this style. Like, they're actually ridiculously large. Yeah, that's not looking so great. I'm going to try the ceremony again. Okay, trying the word ceremony again, and I need to be a little bit more controlled and smaller. This is a bit more promising. Okay, so 2012 ceremony, and then what am I going to put on the facing page? I'm going to go with here, H-E-R-E, and try to fit that in with my journaling above it. Okay, so I let all that dry while I pick out some background paper for over here and figure out what letter stickers I'm going to mix in with my 2012 and my ceremony. I think I'm going to soften the background of the 12 by 12 with this pink because even though these photos on their own feel very blue, the pink now brings out the softer, warmer colors in the stage lighting, and I think I like that look. Just feels more in tune with the memory than some of the others I tried. Putting it against gray seemed dull, and against yellow seemed too brash. But I am going to... I originally thought I would go with hot pink lettering, and then I thought, actually, no, I'd rather go with something in black because it would feel a little bit more formal. Not that this font is in any way formal, but that just the high contrast and no glitter makes it have a little bit of a different tone than the hot pink with the glitter. And I'm using the hot pink with the glitter a lot in both the tourist stuff and the closing ceremony, which have a lot more, I don't know, they have a lighter feel. The opening ceremony was very serious in a way. It was uplifting and amazing, but it was quite serious. So I just would rather it not feel too much like a party with the hot pink and the turquoise. I definitely want the closing ceremony to feel like a party. So it's nice to have a little bit of contrast there. Aside, I really love the tall, thin letters for pocket pages, because I don't want to do everything in teeny tiny letter stickers just because I'm working in a pocket, but this word fits without any trouble into a pocket in these nice tall letter stickers, but in something with a wider font, it would take up the whole card. I think I might put the LDN in the middle. Why not? I only have one end left, so that will work out just fine. I maybe should have made the 2012 a little bit bigger, but too late now. And that's something that also is different by individual personalities and process. Some of you probably just cringed and thought, no, it's only a bit of white cardstock, cut another one and do it again. And if that's what's in your, the process that makes you happy with your pages, then definitely do it. Okay. These need something more than that, but to start. So, in terms of what else they could have. I know I just said no to hot pink glitter stickers, but I'm going to use a hot pink label sticker. It's not glittery, therefore it has a completely different tone. I tried to convince myself. I use my date stamp here. And it'd just be nice to have something along that top edge. I keep having to put these back because they're so white, and I'd had things that were cream in the layouts, but these have white, so why don't I go ahead and embrace this particular kit, or collection is the better word. Okay, I'm definitely going to use that sticker because it actually fits the theme, but I'm not going to use it on either of those cards. I'm going to use these clouds. In the photo that's going to be next to this one, the photo that will be here, there's an actual cloud in the scenery. I think I'll run that right off the top. I think there's just that single cloud in here. Otherwise I might put one down here too. Oh, there were some other clouds. Some I've used, some I haven't. Okay, I'll put them in too. But I won't have any more to put on the other facing page, so I have to come up with something else that feels like it matches. Little pink heart, but I want it a little bit straighter. And is there anything else I want up here or over here? Would this benefit from maybe some pink enamel dots? I think it might, but I think I also should wait until I do this one. So, time for me to move things around. I'm going to just move the album into view for a second so you can see where things are. So this is how this side is looking at the moment. Very photo heavy, 2 cards. And then I have the 3 photos that are going to go over here on this pink paper. So move the album out of the way again. And start on this side of the layout. I'm going to admit right now that I'm cheating on my album kit. Okay, so everything I had done on these 2 pages so far had been from the album kit, and then when you heard me say, oh, I'm going to use these cloud stickers, but I don't have any left in the sticker book, and therefore in the album kit for the facing page, inside my head did a little panic, because I thought actually that would be the perfect thing to bring the 2 together, and I could just include those clouds on both pages, and that would help bring it all together, even though I don't have this pink on the facing page. And then I realized, well, I could cheat, and I could cheat really easily. So here's why it works. Because I have that album kit, and because I knew I didn't have any more of those cloud stickers, and because I was scrapping at home, this would not work if I was scrapbooking away from home.
But I knew exactly what I needed to get, and I knew exactly where it was. I knew that I had paper from that Amy Tangerine paper collection that I had the sticker book from. I knew exactly where it was on my shelf. I knew I had one or two that were clouds, and I knew it would coordinate. So I just went straight there, did not pass go, did not get distracted by any other glittery objects in my stash, went straight to those papers and pulled out the ones that matched. And now I have clouds for this layout. But I had to cheat. But if I didn't have the kit, it wouldn't have been such a quick and easy process like that. It would have taken me ages of considering things. What am I going to make go across the 2 pages? All the different pattern papers I could choose for the background and all of this. So actually, yes, it wasn't in my original kit, but it worked out quite well. See how that sits with your mind about what we should use on our pages. Okay, so I was thinking, I put this down, but I want a mat on it. Just a really, really, really small mat. And pattern papers like this with a frame around the edge, I never use them. It will sit in my stash forever. So instead, I'm just going to chop it up and use a really small mat in this more saturated pink than that pastel-y ballet pink in the background. And I want to do this because I added some of those accents in the pockets. Just a tiny bit, just one heart and one label. But they're the brighter pink, and I want it to feel like everything goes together, even though I've put this layout on the much lighter pink. Pop this one back here. I like that look now more anyway, with the mat on the larger photo. Oh, and I spend all that time trying to get it straight, and then I knock it off. Okay. And I have clouds. I have these clouds, which are like the ones in the stickers, and I had these clouds, which were turquoise, but they're not quite the same. I think I'll try these. I'm going to cut a few of these out to put onto the layout. At this point, I just really need to do a little bit of embellishment to pull it all together and dress it up a bit. I'm going to add my date stamp here, and I'm going to move the album to get a better impression. I'll do it on the desk. I think actually I will use the date stamp in a few different places. I thought that this card was lacking a little something. So why don't I bring the date down on that as well, and then tie it in with the title up here. This stamping and having to move everything shows you a little bit about why I don't work in double pages as often as I do singles, because I do like to work with the album if it's a double page, and that makes it a little more difficult to do certain things. Oh, scrapper problems, eh? Okay, so what else might this need? This, I feel, needs a little bit of the hot pink. I'm going to go back to that original sticker book, because this side has a little bit more room for something a little bit bigger maybe. And I also had said that I'd look at the idea of some hot pink enamel dots. See if I just do 3 in a floating triangle. And then I'll leave the smaller card alone, I think. But it'd be nice to have something on the bigger card. Now I just have big dots. Yeah, I think just a little tiny bit of pink on that one and not anymore. Okay, so I'll get these into the pockets. And there we go. My challenge to myself yesterday to do a title that was a little different than expected.